Welcome again to Steve's Long Stay Workshop, where sets come to be repaired after they've been looked at elsewhere or they've been in, shall we say, unsavoury conditions. This one came from a warehouse, and luckily nobody has plugged it into the mains, because this set is an American set. It's an Emerson, but medium wave and long wave, which is rare for American set, I admit, but not obviously not a British mate, because of course, one made for Britain, because of course it's got the American plug on it. But yeah. Now, anyone building a superhet in America, superhet, had to pay a subsidy to RCA, because RCA had all the patents for it. So every radio in the US, it was a superhet at the time, they had to pay RCA a fee for that radio. Yeah, that's who it was. So for that reason, there were other techniques used that died everywhere else, but not America. And this is a set which has the other version on it. This is what's called a TRF set. The TRF stands for tuned radio frequency. Basically, tune it in on the RF side, demodulate it straight away, amplify it, and of course therefore there's no IF. So PAIR doesn't employ the same technique with this radio, it doesn't do it. PAR does. Power supply, audio, RF, PAR. Yeah. Not I isn't rather that I'm a golfer, because I'm not. I don't play the game, I don't even like it, I admit. But these sets, you use the power system. Other things to look out for are that the volume control on these sort of sets is quite often not on the output stage, on the amplifier stage. It is actually on the RF stage, and the radio goes up and down in sensitivity with the volume control. That's something else to look out for. Now with this set, it is working mostly, but not quite. So we'll switch it on the normal way, and light comes up quite late first, as you can see. Then it should come, and hopefully we shall get a signal out of it. Let's see if we do. We do. Another one. Now, these sets do actually tend to only pick up local stations, because they've not got the IF involved. And this one, long wave, doesn't seem to want to do a right lot, because that is in fact Radio 5 Live there, one of the dial, there's nothing else. So something not quite right there. Again, I don't know what, but something there is not quite right. So we'll go look at that. And also, by the way, with these sets, sometimes when you jiggle this one about, sometimes either goes up or down or goes into oscillation. It's a screeching noise, a squeg if you like. I'll see if I can make it happen for you. Not doing it now, of course. So there's not a lot wrong with this, but it's not 100% right. So let's go inside and have a look. Before we do though, I'll make a few points to you about TRF sets and how to spot one compared to superhet sets, part rather than pain, as it were. But that's so if I was to turn this one round to the bench like so you can look in the back. There we are, you see. So if I was to sit up so you can see, there you are. This one's got 2 speakers in it, somebody added one, which is fair enough. But if you look at it, this set does not have any IF cams in it. Doesn't have them. Radios normally, particularly in the UK, superhets have the IF cams in them, whether the valve or transistor rod. This one, as you can see, it doesn't. And it's only a 4 valve set, which is a rectifier, an output stage, and 2 others. Possibly diode and first IF, and of course diodes and first AF, and of course the AM circuit, which is tuned by this here. So basically that's how it works. Basically these sort of sets are different, and so for that reason they're not that different to look at, but they do have a few interesting things. Like I said, volume control on these is not often on the output stage, it's usually on the sensitivity side of the radio, which means therefore that this one does look very well. Think about a TRF set as a crystal radio with a speaker. Basically that's what it is, basically. And this one, that's actually rather good. On broadcast band, as they call it in America, on medium wave over here, but not on long wave. So let's go inside and let's have a look and let's see exactly what it is and is not doing. Right, well with this set actually, medium wave is spot on, right, up and down the dial, but long wave isn't. Although I've found where Radio 4 is compared to where it should be. It's about 1700 meters where it should be there, where it should be there. So long wave obviously needs some work on this radio, which is the next thing we're going to be doing with it. So at this point now we go and take the radio apart and have a look at what goes where and what doesn't happen and what does and what isn't doing what it should be doing. Well, sometimes when you work on a radio, you know they're saying that a radio apart and a radio together are 2 different things. This is another example of that. Yeah, another one. Took it apart, hums like hell. I thought they're just breathing caps. They'd been reformed in the 1980s, so I took them out and put new ones in when they arrived. Black ones, of course, because as you know, black capacitors matter. And it still hummed. And what's more, one of the valves wasn't lighting up. That's this one, the 12. Let me check here. It was the 12 SJ7. You know, the person who built this or modified it had actually they didn't put on the board what goes where. I took the 12 SJ7 out, and lo and behold, the other 3 valves still had a current. Now, in a radio like this, that shouldn't happen, because these valves are meant to be in series, not parallel. If they're in parallel, pull one out, the ones will stay up. Like for example, the units behind me there, and sets with transformers in, using the E-type valves in England. You take one out, the rest will stay up. With these, they shouldn't do. It's a no-no. Okay. So now, next thing I've done to them to look around safely is disconnect the HT and the capacitors were, just in case they were faulty, which they're not. So I'll put those back in a minute, and then from there I will look and see exactly where this problem is coming from. There don't seem to be capacitors to deck in this thing. I don't know what they are, but basically when this sort of thing happens, all you can do really is take the set apart bit by bit, whether you've got the manual or not. Here I've not actually, I'm going purely after valve data and get it working that way. Also, by the way, of this one, the problem we had, of course, with it but not working along with switches here and the two coils here. I think one of them might be faulty, but again, will leak. But while I'm down here, I'll tidy up somebody else's work best I can, and then hopefully get the valves lit. And then at that point, with them all lit properly and the correct voltage, then I shall actually try putting the HT back on and see what happens. It's simple as that. These things happen. A radio that's this old can develop faults like that. I generally hold on to the idiom of let sleeping faults lie, unless the faults was got a problem, say grid caps. But let sleeping faults lie has been what has been said. It was taught to me in my college days and also from television magazine. Let sleeping faults lie, especially if it's a set which you're not going to sell, because of course if anything goes wrong, you can go in again anyway. By the way, the old cap is still in place, just for appearance's sake, but underneath there are new caps in place, or there will be in a minute. But first of all, we'll go and we'll see what happens now if I pull out the next valve in the chain to the 12SJ7, which is this one, which is black, by the way. You see, black valves matter as well. But seriously though, these valves, this one's RCA, by the way. These valves were very common in military circles, because of course military, of course, they would radiate, and the unit where they're working from could be framed by enemy fire, so they put the military valves in a case like this. They did find a way onto the market of people who were instructors or repairers, and so they do come up also in off radios as well. So what I'll do now, I shall take that valve out. It's not, doesn't seem to want to come, but I think we can make it. We can make anything happen here, you know, anything, and we'll take it from there. Back in a sec when I've got that valve out. It might need brute force and ignorance and things which I'm really not prepared to show you. Right, this valve out. The third valve in the chain, by the way, in the heater chain, and the front end valve of the set, by the way, is a valve called a 12 SK7, which is all marked on the board here. So with that out, let's give it some power, making sure that nothing is going to jump out at us, and see what happens. Shouldn't be very much actually, but we'll see. We'll find out. And that looks to me like nothing. It's exactly how I want it at this stage. Nothing at all. So now, if I put in the 12SK7 like that, yeah, the other valves light up. There we are. Right. The other valves light up, and no, they don't. I did actually mug a bit on the chassis and make sure nothing was touching anything else all the way around, so it might be as simple as that. So now I'll put the 12 SJ7 in like that, and the light comes on. And of course at this stage now we should have all four valves should be lit very soon. The 50L6 has come up straight away, I notice. The bulb is lit, which says that part of the heater the rectifier heater is okay. The rectifier heater, that's the 12S casing, which we can't see, but you can see it's getting warm, and we'll see if that's getting warm. So we'll go for a minute and see what that's like. Right, okay, well that's working now. That's lit up, so maybe it's going to work. I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Now, before I go any further with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the heater voltages. The deck, of course, should be 0. It is. The heater voltages, by the way, are AC, okay, and this. Now, the resistor, the 35Z5 and the output are, of course, take up most of the voltage, but this leaves us 23 volts, 22.9 volts or thereabouts to go to these two valves here, and here it is about 12, about 11. Remember, I'm running on an adapter, so you know, but that should be enough to run all these valves properly, because of course there's a 10% tolerance on heaters, and we're within that. So I think we'll be okay. If not, I'll look at that resistor and make it a bit lower, but we should be all right. Anyway, with that open, I'm going to have a little nip round in here and see and find out what actually caused it to go cuckoo on us. It could be anything, but I'll be good to look round and check. It's not the wave change switch, nothing like that. That's okay. Now, there's nothing connecting any of the valves apart from the heater chain, and I noticed that this valve is actually working now. Also under here you can just about see it. It's okay. And obviously you can't check the 12X K7 because of course it's the battleized cam, but that looks okay. And so I think it's safe to say that the heater network, whatever was wrong with it, has now gone. It might have been a valve, I don't know, but for the moment the heater voltages are still working, and so now I'll put the XT and the smoothing back on, and we'll take it from there. Right, well, another thing which does need to happen in these cases, or I do it anyway, one of the smoothing caps that I'm putting actually is a cathode bypass cap on the valve that giving trouble. Now, it's still lit, the valve's still lit, but I always want to make sure still the voltages are as they were, because some reason they weren't. So with that one back in now, it's actually so far still working. So now I'll put the other smoothing caps on and apply XT, and we could hear one of three things here: a bang, a buzzing noise, or if we're lucky, the set might sing to us. You never know. Right, well, I've now got all the capacitors in and the XT up to in as well, and connected as well. And now this set does actually work when the XT comes up. The XT, by the way, is 125 volts. It's a bit low. I think that valve might be wanting a bit past its best, but 128 volts, and it is now working. So you know, we're not. So we're not too badly off now. It's got new caps in, not the same values as the ones we were taking out, by the way. If you go on to, I'll just knock that off for a minute. There we are. By the way, I'll come to that. Yeah. if you're not sure what valves a capacitor, what capacitors should go with a certain rectifier, if you look online, it will tell you the maximum capacitor voltage for it. Now with the 35Z5, it's 40 microfarads. The ones I put in are 22 because it seems halfway, because it's one of the circuit were 8, and so now the 80 should be slightly higher. It's not, because I think that valve is past its best. And by the way, something else, you might notice that I reached across the workshop to the point where the power goes in, like so, like that. That is because in Britain we are 240 volts. As again, you see the preview. In America it's 120, which means therefore that if you put this radio into our mains, it will probably do damage to the set, more likely than not valves, which will cost you money. And if you're anything like me, you don't like costing money, then it's costing you money, so you don't do it. So always in Britain, always make sure that the separate plug for 110, 120 volts, and make sure that all the sets that have that do in fact are socketed as well. So that way you can't plug them into 240 volt mains and do damage. This one actually, if you want to put this onto 240 volt mains, the valves would handle it if you put a resistor in place, and of course either a capacitive or resistive dropper or a diode dropper in the heater line as well. So they can be converted, but best not to. In this case, it's going to stay at 110, 120 volt set with this on the end. So there you are. Now of course we get back to finding out why this thing doesn't work on long wave. Now it's back to the state it was in when I opened it up in the first place. But like I said, with sets of this kind, you never know what faults you're going to come across. So basically, now it's working again like it was before with the new captain. And by the way, as far as the Peter chain on this, by the way, the last valve before the 12SJ7 was a 12SK7, which is this black valve here. And like I said before, black valves matter, but this one is the one that's more likely to have had a heater cathode short or something, which might have cleared. But if it comes back, whip that valve out and see if it goes away. If it does, then try another valve before you do anything else. I've got other valves to check, but I can't get to them right now. Anyway, with the set working on medium wave at least, we now got to get to look into what it's doing, not what it should, on long wave, which is what we're doing with it in the first place. Well, that can wait till tomorrow night because it's past 12 o'clock and I'm knackered. With you, I'll be back with you in a second, but for me, now I'm saying good night. Okay, take care. I'll see you in about a second from now. Right, well, I'm back the next night, of course, and long wave on this is nothing more than a big aerial that was needed, which I put on it. It needs a bigger aerial, but this piece of wire on the floor will do perfectly well. So here is radio 4, and going a bit further. There is station RT1. Okay, going over to medium wave. That's the station I use to set up on. And
down to here, he mentioned Maguire.
Football is back, of course, so the football top stations in 5 Live are all happy.
I mean, look, he doesn't really...
And I'm happy with this set now. So we'll put it back together again and we'll see what happens when we take it from there. So now reassemble it and try it again, which is always interesting, because as I've said before, and we'll say to the end of time, a radio apart and a radio together are two completely different things. They really, really are. So just about, we put the radio back in where it's meant to be. Which is a problem in itself, it seems. Never mind. Where's the problem? There's always a solution. Come in here, there you are, right, and we'll have a look and find out why it's not going where it should. It should go through that hole in the front, which it's not doing. Actually, that hole's not been particularly well drilled, actually, I must say, so maybe that could be the problem. But there's a hole in the front, and that's, of course, takes in the tuning dial and tuning knob, which goes through it, and then of course it goes into the set, like so. There we are, it's gone in. Right, so now with that in place, I shall now put in, before I put anything back in place, I will try to make sure that it still works, because the radio apart and the radio together are two completely different things. It should do, but as always, we'll see, and always we do our best with such things, don't we? Well, I do anyway. So I just stop the camera while I put it back in, and we'll be back with you. Right, well, it's in its case. The air's connected. Big aerial, but not quite as big as it should be. This is long wave on the aerial that's not quite big enough for it, but it does pick up something. That's the RF station there. But on medium wave, it's actually worked extremely well, as you can hear. So another one fixed and ready to go. Now at this point in the proceedings, I always have a bit of a rant, and you might have noticed during this video I've ranted quite a lot about black capacitors matter and black valves matter. This is because, unfortunately, at the moment, black lives matter more than anybody else. I would love to hear somebody from the NHS support that, I really would, because as far as I'm concerned, as a normal human being, I think that everybody's life matters, whether you're black, yellow, red, white even, you know, your life matters. So this stuff is just utter nonsense. I mean, one of the black actors in Gone with the Wind, I think won an Oscar for her role at the time. That's been forgotten. One of the first black millionaires has not been remembered in this at all. It is nothing more than a bunch of middle-class, uneducated twerps from universities doing nothing more than showing up how thick they really are to the rest of the community. Now, as far as statues are concerned, and history is there to teach us about the future, not to repeat things. It's sometimes said, and it's very true, if you don't remember history, you're destined to repeat it. Now, in Nazi Germany, books, radio programs, anything that was not approved by the state could not be read. It was destroyed. In Afghanistan several years ago, some Buddhist statues carved into the hillside there were actually blown up. Now, we in Britain and the Western world should not fall down to that sort of tyranny. Yeah, slave traders are not the nicest people on earth. I'm sure everyone listening to this agrees with that. But it's part of history. And by the way, Penny Lane in Liverpool is not linked up with the slave trade, by the way. So watching the word penniate in black ink and putting racist lane, does nothing to nobody. It shows how ill-informed these people are. Now, there are one or two people on here, and Sango 36, if you're listening to this crap, I mean you, please keep your views coming, because everybody's views are important. Everybody's. Now, I'm not racist at all, not in the slightest, nobody is. I had a kidney transplant put in and was looked after by a Muslim doctor. Yeah, a Muslim doctor in this country. Without him, I would be either on dialysis or dead. So his life matters, but he's not black, he's Muslim. And so it goes on. So these people who do this sort of thing and write aren't racist all over Churchill and things like that, they're only hurting yourselves, and you're only hurting the people you meant to convert to your ideals. So stop it now, because it doesn't do any good to anyone. This is quite frankly pathetic. It really is. And as I've said, people who don't understand history will be destined to repeat that history, and we don't want that, do we? Anyway, going back to radios. This one now works on all bands. For TRF it's pretty good actually. The dial isn't that accurate, but I've got it up as well as I can. And once it's warmed up again, I shall on to the next job after having listened to it. So when it's warmed up, come on, warm up. There you are. There you are. So there you are. So whatever colour creed you are, have a good time out there. Be careful in these troubled times, and keep fixing radios. Until next time, this is Steve Pellaby saying goodbye and good luck. Ta-ra.